We're live. We're back. The farm is here, ready to build some MLB 8-game DFS slate here. Mostly DraftKings stuff, right? Again, like all of our stuff is tailored towards DraftKings for the most part. Although you are dabbling in the FanDuel streets today, which is fun.
Listen, whenever they put out a big ticket, I just let my
Yeah,
funds kind of marinate in FanDuel. And whenever they got that 333, 100K to first, I would take a stab. I
you
mean, we
got
are donkeys. We are donkeys for the big top prize. I mean, that's what we hunt for. I mean,
yeah,
listen, if you're playing cash games double ups, like you're the grind, and I understand the grind of that, but like I want low, 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 high. I don't want any of the okay, $50, $100. No, no, no. If I want to do that, I'll bet.
no,
I'll
yeah,
make bets. Like,
yeah. I want
is there
zero.
any worse feeling when
Yeah.
you play a cash game and you play a double up and your team gets first and would have got first in a tournament, but you just played it in cash games? It makes no sense. I mean, DFS and the way playing DFS is all about the upside. It's not
Yeah,
about the cash games.
no,
Like it's all about the top prizes. How many can you bank in a year? Right? You have an
yeah.
infinity stone of that 100K bank already this year. I'm looking for my first sixer.
Is the Infinity Stone? I feel like those are more millies. I feel like
No, listen, millies are like, yeah, I mean, millies, yeah, you're right. I mean, but if
if
you
you
win
filled up a gauntlet of millies, I mean
If you
that's
put up a gauntlet of Infinity Stones of
I
100K, you'd
mean,
be happy as
yeah,
well.
the top players. So like that, I don't mean that they're the best players, but they do. I mean, like they're winning multiple millions of dollars a year. And mainly because like they're doing the $4,000 tournament. They're doing every big entry to win $1 million, and so they don't have to be perfect. And so like with that said, if they have a bad week and they max out the $4,000 tournament, you're looking at a negative six-figure week, and we never will have that. We'll never have a. I mean, like
No.
the worst we'll ever have is like a negative like $10,000 week, and that would be not from our bank. That's like coming out of like if we have won a lot and we're just losing what we've won in our
Yeah,
account.
yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
probably
saying? Like,
collectively like
yeah,
you lost five, I lost five. That's probably like the max you'd see.
exactly.
Yeah, but listen,
Um,
we got a big slate, so we should probably jump in here shortly. Stop kicking it around. I think we have what 13 games? Is that
it's
right?
it's only 8 games, dude.
Oh, I don't know why I thought 13 games.
Yeah,
I see some early games as well. Maybe I'm thinking that. I don't know
yeah.
why. Eight games
No,
is
it's
kind of the
tomorrow.
perfect
I think
size.
13 is maybe tomorrow. I like 8 games a lot. You can get different. You can build like you can stick to your stacks. You don't have to like. I mean, sometimes 12 games is so much. It's like there's spots that you just didn't play or completely avoided that are just like, yeah, off limits. So um we dive into. I think there's a lot of good spots. Before we do, what's the weather look like? Can you pull it up real fast and then we'll
Yeah,
just
I think everything looks good. Obviously, thank God they're not in Oakland anymore. I mean, thank God they're in Vegas. I
dude.
mean,
It's just I hate that they play in that ballpark. It just makes the DFS slate not fun. It's like
because
when,
yeah, I mean,
when Colorado should never score 22 runs. It doesn't matter. Like they're not good enough to score 22 runs. Yeah, if you throw them in the softball field down the
yeah.
street, they're
So
just 22 runs. But
there's no weather per se. I mean, you have Chicago, obviously, wind blowing out 10, 70, fine. I mean, that's a really wind sensitive park. And then Sutter, right? Sutter for the Athletics there that's where they're back at is 11 out, 87 degrees.
yeah,
That's always going to draw the ire of a lot of
yeah.
DFS players. And tonight, I think I might just take the fade. But we'll talk about that as we get. I think both pitchers are pretty decent. So let's talk. Let's start with the slate though. What do we have? Game one. Let me just pull this up. We have game one is the Mets visiting the Reds in Great American Small Park. We have Tobias Myers on the mound for the Mets, and then Chase Burns on the mound for the Reds. I totally get Chase Burns as kind of being the de facto ace and playing him tonight, but there is some risk there. The guy just, he's still a young pitcher. There's some veteran bats on the Mets here. They could cause him a little bit of problems, but he is the de facto ace. There's not a lot of, it's not a strong pitching slate. So you probably just play him if you're looking for a kind of a bona fide. I might go down and board a little bit to get some more bats, but we'll talk about those guys when we get there. As far as Tobias, you just can't play him against the Reds. The Reds without Ellie, it just like it does kill them. South Stewart is in a slump. But Myers isn't very good, so I totally get a red stack here in the small park. And if you want a contrarian angle, man, you play against Burns. That's huge leverage. Probably won't do that in 111, but you can see that making some sense here if you want to get contrarian because the Mets are in a great hitting spot in a great park just against the worst pitcher on the slate. I mean, the best pitcher on the slate. So for
Yeah,
me, I probably won't do that. I'm not looking at this as a priority in the 333 on FanDuel either, but I totally get bats in this game. And then you probably have to, have a top tier consideration for Chase Burns. But what are your thoughts?
yeah. I mean, Burns is the best play. The second most expensive pitcher is 8.5, and like Burns shouldn't be. What is that 5? That's 2,500 more. He shouldn't be 2,500 more, but like he is the best play. The issue is, yeah. The concern is the Mets don't strike out a ton. and it's in Great American Small Park, right? So like he walks a couple guys, gives a couple home runs. You're like, oh man, he gave up 4 runs. I just do think he's the de facto number one. I mean, there's other guys I do like here. I just think I'm probably gonna jam him in. I think he could get 7 to 8 strikeouts, limit the damage. I think I prefer Cincinnati offensively too. So like I think they get the win. I think he can put up the 28 to 32 range. I think that's good enough for SP1 on the slate. With that said, depending on the bats and how you want to build, you don't necessarily have to jam him in there. And then outside of that, like, so with that said, it's like, yeah, maybe a contrarian angle. You've done this in the past. You've done this already once this season. You've played against Burns, and it like I did too. I played against Kansas. I played Kansas
City. I might do it again. I just don't know if I can totally do it in a contrarian 111 because I'm gonna get the Mets at single digit owned, all the bats there. And tell me Soto's in a bad matchup against any pitcher, I'd say you're lying. So, like, the thing is, like, I probably won't do it. It's just huge leverage. You're going to see Burns at 50+% owned. So, that's just my 2 cents. But, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're good. I was just I'm also troubleshooting. Like, for some reason, this is not like the video is not streaming on X. Like, it's fine. I can do it while we talk here. I was just wondering why it's not. So I was asking our friend ChatGPT while our video, it's just a blank screen. Not that it matters for this. Like, we're going to continue to break this stuff down. That's why I was a little distracted there. Other things so I do like the Cincinnati cheap guys. Arroyo, interestingly enough, had like a leadoff spot, which is, at his price, he's just a good play. I still like Novelli Marte. He's really, really cheap in the outfield. And then, I guess you could sprinkle in maybe someone else in the lineup, but I think those are my favorite. I think what I'll do for Cincinnati is go there for value. I won't be a priority play, but I think there's some really interesting value bats. I feel like if you play Burns, you probably want to sprinkle one of those guys in. So that's what I'll be doing. Not that it'll be like a heavy build, but I do like it. And I think it just makes a lot of sense in the slate, especially if you're going to go that direction with Burns. Outside of that, there's nothing else really for me to add, Dylan. I guess in your big team, you're not looking at Burns. I guess your 111s, you're not really looking at Burns here.
I mean, you have to look at him. You have to give him a look. I mean, he's the best pitcher in the slate. I just don't love the matchup in this park either. So weather's fine, not special. So for me, I just probably won't do it. But let's move to our next game. We have the Padres on the road facing the Cardinals. This is a contrarian spot I think I'm going to target a little bit. We have, I think it's Giolito on the mound for the Padres. I don't see that in Baseball Savant, but I saw it on the score, so it should be fine. Then Dustin May on the mound for the Cardinals. Man, Dustin May has been shoving lately. The guy's absolutely in play as an SP2 on the today's slate. I mean, the guy's been phenomenal lately.
Yeah.
Once again, has some of that pedigree coming over for the Dodgers. Was supposed to be good, kind of an up and down, career there. I like him in this spot. Fine. We know the Padres strike out a good bit. So if you're telling me you're playing Dustin May as 1 or 2 pitchers, it makes sense. And he'll probably make a 111 for me. There's another pitcher I like a little bit more. It's kind of a pretty much going to be blanketing him across all contests. We'll get to him in the next game. But yeah, for me, I love the Cardinal stack here. I think Giolito's not very good. The numbers bear that out. He's really just been a pitch to contact guy lately, so I need to get some BABIP here. But man, we see some red StatCast. Lars Newbar came back, man, on a mission. My man, Jordan Walker, all-star, best ball pack, best ball bags back. He's just so good right now. And what I like about this team is they do run a little bit. So I think we could get them on the base pass against the Padres here. My biggest concern and the biggest red flag is this is a pitcher's park. The second biggest red flag is if Giolito has a good start, you're going to get a great San Diego bullpen. I think they're ranked number 2 as far as bullpens go. So I really need them to chase Giolito and get a bad version of that bullpen there. But I think as a contrarian stack, I really do like these Cardinals with a priority on like Laws Newbar, Walker, Burleson, Weatherholt, Ivan Herrera. But man, even Blaze Jordan, right? Like, everyone saw him as a kid hitting 500 feet home runs. It doesn't matter. The guy's okay. I mean, he's a fine bat. But, man, they just, Nelson Velasquez is up. You're probably going to see him just not in this matchup because it's a Rowdy on the mound. But, man, are the Cardinals pesky? Are they actually a good team? And I think the answer is yes. I think they're a good team. I think they have a chance to, compete in that division this year. So
they do.
And that doesn't matter in a single game sample size. All I'm saying is this is a spot Mike overlooked, and I do like the Cardinals a good bit against Giolito, and they're going to make a big team build for me tonight for sure. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hate it, man. So there's a couple of takes here. I agree with you on Giolito. I wonder if his name still carries a little weight. I don't know if it does. DFS players are so much sharper now. People are not playing Giolito. I think St. Louis makes a lot of sense. They've been raking, and also like some of their guys have come down in price. Like Weatherholt's no longer 5K. Blaze, you mentioned, I think he's a good value. Like, I mean, it's like if I'm stacking St. Louis, I'll opt into him over one of the guys for Cincinnati. So I think that's kind of where I make my pivot points. Man, I keep like May is like Jekyll and Hyde.
Video they talk about, like, so when Blaze was 13 years old, he had a 500-foot home run. I saw the video. I mean, like, obviously it's a aluminum bat, this and that, but like, that's impressive. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really translate. I mean, like, we see these guys.
You could probably give me like, what is the hardest material in the universe? Like, you can give me any bat. Like, I don't know if I'm hitting a ball 500 feet. Like, that's gonna be hard for me to do.
My point is, we see these guys that are feeding, like, this has probably been everyone's feed, like Baby Gronk. This is kind of a segue, but like, how good is that guy actually going to be, right? Like, he was like, like that doesn't often translate, right? So.
Dude, what was that quarterback guy? There was a quarterback named from USC. He had like a Russian name, remember? And like his dad was training him from a young age, and he was like a machine, and he was supposed to be so good. And he like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was but like he was a beast in college. Like, but like doesn't pan out. It's like that is an example of like a guy you tailor his whole career to be this superstar. The case against that, Dylan, is like the Williams sisters. Like their dad was like a hard ass, got them going from a young age. They were just I think having a sister or like a brother in some cases doing the same thing helps you.
Probably.
I mean, but Tiger Woods' dad was like a total asshole and like pushed Tiger Woods to be arguably the greatest golfer of all time. Like, so I think there's a case to be made for it. But back to Blaze.
I think the case is just like, look at LeBron and Sebastian Telfair. Like those guys, both huge hype, and then LeBron is a goat, and Sebastian, didn't make it there. But anyways, Blaze Jordan, play him if you want. There's some risk there. There's some upside there. I'll go to ECU legend Alec Burleson. The guy is absolute a menace. He's a menace against righties too. He's just like, and he's a guy that his power is starting to come along. He's hitting home runs. I think 4 in the last 5 games, which is impressive. But other than that, he's just a great plate discipline guy. Mashes righties, and they all run at the top of that lineup. JJ Weatherholt been phenomenal. So
good. He's cheap too. He's a lot cheaper than these guys.
And whenever I can get a guy at second base that has that kind of upside, the sock and shoe. There you go. I'm gonna play it. So for me, the Cardinals are gonna be a stand. I hope they're not even. I hope, like, we don't use this is really hand in the dirt building over here, like, because we're mostly playing single entry and high dollar entry stuff. But for me, it's going to be a priority here. And I just think, maybe other people play it, but there's so many good spots in the slate. Once again, you have that huge, athletics game total last game and something I just might fade. So I think the Cardinals should all be around single digit owned. So I feel really good about that stack tonight.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, Dustin May, you have to include him too. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be playing him as an SP2.
You have to include him. He's been so good. And,
I think San Diego, yeah, go ahead.
So this is how simple sometimes I am in best ball. It's like, I come to rotations. It's like, well, Dustin May has the chance to be the SP1 for the Cardinals. I'm just going to start drafting him in best ball. And like he has pedigree, this and that, and got him one year deal. Maybe he finds it. And just like, he's just a steady Eddie there. I mean, but he's been very, very good lately. Better than steady Eddie. So the guys, I mean, we go back to his Dodgers days. Like we expected him to be a very good pitcher, and it just didn't really pan out. And he has the chance now in St. Louis, and the team's playing well. And it's all about like good vibes there. And he's got good vibes going. So we know the Padres strike out. We know the backend's not very good. So he's got to be in play. He's got to be in consideration at his cheap price.
Yeah, so I like him. And San Diego is like the number 1 worst team in the league, although they've been picking it up lately. And I think their offense is better than the worst team in the MLB. So there's concern there. And May likes to get a little shaky at times. So yeah, my take is like I don't hate him as an SP2. There is a Jekyll and Hyde component to Dustin May, and so like consider that before putting him on your big teams. And just because we've seen just good lately doesn't mean that will continue, because there's underlying shakiness still there. With that said, pitching is pretty weak today. He's probably one of the top options. He's probably one of the highest owned.
I think it was 50% on last start. So
yeah,
he had another great start. So he's going to be on again. But
yeah,
let's jump into our next game. We have the Rockies visiting the Cubs. In a rematch, they were just in Coors, actually, and I think Shota had a really good start there. But Shota's on the mound for the Cubs. Lorenzen on the mound for the Rockies. It's going to be a Cubs 5-man and a lot of stacks for tonight. I think, they've been slumping. I keep trying to get them right, and I just can't. But they're just in a great spot. I mean, we know the Rockies have a bad bullpen. We know the Lorenzen's not very good. The Cubs are going to go off one of these days. And win slightly out, which doesn't really matter. in a lot of parks, but out 10 miles an hour in Chicago at Wrigley is meaningful. So for me, I'm definitely going to be playing the Cubs here. PCA, kind of the priority bat, right? I'm not telling anyone anything new. But I do want to play guys like Ballesteros, guys like Swanson, maybe get them bottom of the lineup. I love playing Swanson. I know he's down this year, but the guy has home run upside and is still upside at the bottom of the lineup. And people always forget to click that name because he's kind of batting 8th or 9th. He's all left out of a lot of stacks, and I really do like him as a piece to kind of pair like, a wraparound stack, maybe 8, 9, 1, 2 or something like that. So for me, the Cubs all day. I'm not going to pick on Shota. I know Shota's tendencies to give up home runs as a fly ball pitcher are fine, and seeing the Rockies back-to-back starts isn't ideal. Not quite back-to-back, you know what I mean? But they just home and away. You don't like to see that, and they're gonna understand him and figure him out. But the problem is, it's just I don't want to stack this game. I want to play the Cubs. I don't want to play the Rockies here. And in the same breath, I'm probably not going to focus on Shota. I know he can have another good start. There's just so much risk in his profile, so I'm just not going to do that here either. So for me, Cubs are going to be a priority. They're top 1 or 2 stacks for me tonight. What are your thoughts?
Cubs is number 1 for me. I think they just saw Lorenzen. We like when pitchers go back to the same spot, and like Lorenzen's not good either. So it's like Lorenzen actually pitched pretty well. I think the Cubs have just been struggling, which is sad because I do like their offense. With that said, I actually do like Shota a little bit. I mean, if you could pitch against a team for every start that you have, and you chose the Rockies, I think you'd be a Cy Young winner. I think the Rockies are offensively just not very good. And so I do like him at 8.5. I think he's like a decent SP1, SP2 option, depending if you're going cheap. The Rockies have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup. There is, the wind blowing out makes a bit of a concern. If he walks a couple guys, he could give up a couple long balls because that's in his profile. Outside of that, I don't. So I won't be playing any of the Rockies. Although, like, I think their tournament plays, given what we saw last night, they just kind of maybe they're heating up a little bit. But also, like, that park is just like, come on. I'm speaking of the Vegas park, and then Chicago is my favorite play. You mentioned Swanson. Like, the reason no one's playing Swanson is because he's been so bad. I think he's like one of the 5 worst hitters in baseball, and that's why they keep sitting him occasionally. So like keep an eye on Ramirez maybe in the lineup for Swanson. So just keep that in mind. But if Swanson's in, I do like him because he's cheap value in this game. And I think he fits nicely as part of a wraparound. I think that'll be, he'll be like a single digit owned Cubby you can throw in there. But other than that, not much to add. I think, stack Chicago, play Chicago bats in all your lineups tonight. Don't get too tricky. And then throw Shota in there as like, I think a decent SP1, SP2 option.
Let's jump to the next game. This is where I'm going to get my favorite pitcher on the slate from. That's just Mackenzie Gore. The Rangers at home, Twins visiting. Mackenzie Gore. Do we have a confirmation on the Twins pitcher here?
I see Paredes.
Yeah, I saw him as well.
Isak's brother.
Yeah, probably.
I had to mention Isak.
Isak on every show. I don't really know much about him. I know he's not special. I looked into him a little bit earlier. I don't see anything on Baseball Savant.
Yeah,
so you're probably not going to get a fully stretched out guy there. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you could definitely play the Rangers because of that. For me, the priority here is just going to be playing Gore. I know Gore's kind of had a bad season. I just think the Twins aren't very good. I know they are better against lefties. That's the concern. But Gore at his peak can strike out 10 batters. And if you get a 78 strikeout game here, I think we feel really good about that. A pretty cheap price tag as well. You got to really just get through Buxton and you're pretty happy. Right? You get through Buxton, you strike him out. You're looking like you're having a great outing. So for me, Gore is a priority. He's probably my favorite SP on the slate, price adjusted, and he's just going to be a priority spend. For me, outside of that, I could play guys like Wyatt Langford. Wyatt Langford just came back. I love that bat. He just, he's been injured for his whole career, seems like his whole young career. So, I mean, the Rangers StatCast looks pretty good. I mean, Nemo, Peterson, Seager, Berger. I mean, it looks fine. But once again, my priorities lie elsewhere. I totally get it. This is a pitching park generally. We're just going to be closed, obviously, in that Texas heat. So, for me, it's just going to be Gore in this game. That's all I have.
Yeah, I like Gore a lot. I think he's probably firmly in the SP1, SP2 category, a top 3-4 pitcher on the slate. The other thing in his favor is like the lefties for Minnesota aren't very good, and so like he actually struggles more against lefties than righties. So like I think it's a good matchup for him. Globe Life is a good pitcher's park. It keeps me off of all the Minnesota bats, which I continue to fade. And then coming back, like I think Texas is interesting. I have a lot of Texas shares in best ball. Being that it's a pitcher's park, I just prefer Chicago straight up over them. And I think I do prefer like St. Louis slightly edges them out, but I think adding like Texas, they would be more of a 3-man stack out there, like a Berger, White, Langford, Nemo. I don't love the back end of their lineup as much, but I think you could pair it pretty nicely with like a St. Louis 5-man or a Chicago 5-man, but I think I prefer more of the 3-man stacks from the Texas side. outside of that, maybe if you wanted to do like a creative, like, a 5-2-1, you could throw White Langford as a 1, because I do think he's got a ton of upside in the outfield. But man, with that said, there's so many outfielders you can play in any given slate. So like I usually try to group my outfielders into a stack. But yeah, I like that. Outside of that, I'll be playing Gore as a priority play. Secondary plays will be some of the Texas bats.
Well, let's jump to the next game. A game that I really don't know. I don't have a great feel for. I want you to talk about Isaac Paredes because you love him so much. But we have the Tigers visiting the Astros. I think it's Melton on the mound for the Tigers.
Melton.
Kaiwei Tang for the Astros. Both guys that underlines were fine. Melton has a terrible strikeout rate. Great walk rate. I mean, the Astros are really heating up. So for me, I just really don't know what to do here. It's not a priority spend as far as bats go, but I could totally see this game being 10-7 and me getting absolutely killed. Kaiwei Tang also a guy like I think you could consider it in starting pitching, but I don't want to do it. I think the Tigers are pesky enough to cause problems. But listen, I have a bad feeling this game. No idea. Definitely a game I would never bet just because I have no hard edge. I mean, it would be the Astros probably if I had to bet, but DFS just pass play. It's going to be a pass here, but give me some nuggets because I don't have anything in this game.
I think both pitchers are competent enough where I don't love the stacks, right? Like this is not a game I want to stack. So like when I'm looking away from the stack, then it becomes more of like, okay, do I one off? Do I, I think for me, it's like the Jordan Alvarez one off is always fun. We mentioned this Slate 3 nights ago when you were with Ham. It's like, dude, calling Jordan as a home run doesn't mean shit. But like, I mean, we mentioned the 3-man stack of Walker, Paredes, and Jordan, and that would have been a great 3-man stack. That's like, cause like, I think those are the 3 priority bats. I don't really love Altuve, although like he's an okay bat in the middle of the lineup. I mean, Jeremy Pena is an okay DFS play. So like, yeah, if you could talk me into the Houston side, I'm off of Detroit. Like I haven't seen enough. I feel like there's just the vibes are still kind of bad there. Like the season's somewhat lost already. And so like, yeah, I think I'm more avoiding the Detroit side. If I had a stack, again, got to throw my boy Paredes in there, but it'll be a 3-man stack as a, on the Houston side more than anything. I'm not going to prioritize it, but if it makes, a build and I'm like, okay, I kind of like this, how this fits, I'll make it happen. But Jordan's super expensive. What is his price now? I mean, it's got to be, it's 6.2. Actually, not that expensive given his production, but
and he's worth every bit of that, right? Like he has games.
He should be 7K at this point. Like we
know realistically you can't price anyone there. And
Shohei's been 7K before in course.
But Jordan's only path to that is just home runs, right? Where Shohei can steal and have. Listen, I'm not disrespecting Jordan whatsoever. The guy's an amazing talent, an amazing bat, but he's one dimensional as far as like offensive production goes. Like it's power or nothing for him. So. Yeah.
I guess if you wanted like to get creative with a 5-man stack, you could throw like Cam Smith and like maybe Bryce Matthews in there. Bryce Matthews.
Yeah, but you're talking about guys at the back end that are just on this slate. There's enough good spots. I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the next game, unless you have anything else to add here.
No, that's it for me.
We have the Angels visiting the Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Walbert Urena on the mound for the Angels. 2 pitchers that I do believe in. I wanted to play Ryan Nelson, but I looked into his numbers. They're just not good. They're just not good right now. His underlying scare me. And I know the Angels strike out, but I think there's so much risk in his profile right now that I can't do it. I know he could bounce back having a good start against the Angels. And Walbert on the other side is good. He's a good pitcher. All the underlying suggests that. Kind of a high walk rate. In the same breath, I really don't want to play him against the Diamondbacks at home. So this is a pass play. If I had to lean pitchers or bats in this game, it would definitely be a lean to pitchers. And if I had a guy last spot in, I just needed to rotate Ryan or Walbert, I would totally do that in this spot. But as far as bats go, there's going to be no priorities bats in this game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so Walbert's a good pitcher. I just don't think he's a good DFS pitcher. He doesn't get enough strikeouts and like the stuff is good enough to get quality starts and wins, but I just don't think at 8-3, like quality starting to win isn't enough here, Dylan. So while I like him as a pitcher, it'll keep me away from playing Arizona. It's not enough at 8-3 for me to play him. I just prefer Gore straight up. I think I prefer Shota straight up at 200 more. So like, I think Urena is safer than Shota. I think Shota has more upside. So that's where I would lean there. But again, I think both pitchers are pretty good. Ryan Nelson is 6'5". Like if you needed a cheap option, I think he is actually like a decent cheapie there. But man, it's just the numbers aren't that good. And like, we believe in the talent of Ryan Nelson, but I just can't believe in the current production. So I think it would be a pass. With that said, I think both pitchers are competent enough. I think neither will make the cut from like a DFS perspective, but both will be able to limit the damage here. And I don't think like a stack or maybe a singular player could, be optimal from this game, but I don't think a stack will be optimal. So I'll be avoiding.
All right, let's get the bonanza. We got Jared Jones on the mound. Obviously, a guy that has talent pitching. For the Pirates visiting, I guess Sutter Health now. They're back
Yep.
in California. Visiting Athletics. For the Athletics, it's JT Get on the mound, guy who I definitely believe in. Think is very good. The problem is he's pitching in Vegas and he's pitching here, which is not going to help the numbers whatsoever.
No.
That being said, I mean, this is a 10.5 over under. The field's going to go here, and I'm just not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a tactical fade. It's not saying this is a bad spot by any means. This is a great spot for bats. For me, it's just tactically. I think you're going to get the majority of ownership funding into this game. I think both pitchers are good enough to limit the damage. And if we see a 4-2 game, I'm going to be way ahead of the field because I know you're going to see multiple guys in this game double-digit owned. So for me, it's just a tactical fade. There's no more real analysis you need in this game other than when you see a 10.5, you play the 10.5. Like you just play it. There's no reason not to. I mean, for me, it's just like to get contrarian in a big dollar thing. That's where my focus is, right? In a big dollar tournament, once again, the 3-3 on FanDuel, the kind of flagship 111 tonight. I don't want to stack this game. I mean, it's easy to do. And it's scary to fade when the late night hammer crushes you, which could happen here. It's just something I'm going to do tonight. I don't know if you feel the same, but yeah, just where I'm landing.
Yeah, it's funny. I think we're very similar here. I think both pitchers. This is similar to the LA Arizona game where I actually think these pitchers are both performing better than Ryan Nelson. So I think this is another one where it's like I think pitchers are confident enough to limit the damage, and as long as you don't get one of these like nuclear crooked number slates where they put up, double digits, like high into the double digits. I feel like this could be a lower scoring affair. Like people, I don't know how many, maybe some percentage of the field won't pay attention that this is not in Vegas. So there'll be even more inflated ownership going to this game because this is at Oakland again. Oakland has produced all these runs. You see what I'm saying, Don? So I think that could inflate ownership, and it will somewhat anyways because of how hot the Athletics have been. But mainly a lot of that has been buoyed by them being in Vegas. So I think this is a perfect, hey, the field will eat up 30% of, people's DFS lineups. Avoid this spot tonight. I think this goes well. I think I would take the under in this game too. I think both pitchers are confident. This could be like a 4-3 game. Again, dude, this is part of it's game theory, right? We know that the field has continued to see that this, Oakland score runs, but again, park shift, pitchers are pretty decent. I'm going to avoid it. I think this is going to go under, and I think the field will, lose some money here tonight. And I'm hoping I'm making money on the other side of it. So
yeah, listen, I just pulls me a little bit because I know Jared Jones is a decent pitcher, but I know Law Dog's going to be in the lineup for the Athletics tonight. Man, I want Law Dog to be so much better than he's been this season. And so if I'm looking for a one-off in this game, it's just going to be Law Dog. Obviously, Kratz is amazing, right? But first base, you can find a replacement. I do like getting Law Dog. If there's a one-off in this game, I'm playing him. So well, let's jump to our last game. Another, I think, game you could definitely get bats from, something I might avoid, but we have the Rays visiting the Dodgers. Yeah, we have Eric Lauer on the mound for the Dodgers, and then Nick Martinez on the mound for the Rays. Nick Martinez is just a veteran pitcher I don't like picking on. He has starts where he's bad, obviously, but they're pretty unpredictable. The guy has decent stuff. His underlyings look pretty good. I can't say the same about Eric Lauer. Other than the Dodgers have a competent bullpen behind them. So for me, it's going to be a pass game. It really, funny enough, if I had to stack this game, it would probably just be stacking the Rays side, to be honest with you. Kind of avoiding Nick Martinez and the Dodgers. The Dodgers always get a little bit of ownership because it's the Dodgers, the best team in baseball, arguably, right? So for me, it's just going to be another pass. If I was looking for a contrarian angle, I'd probably just contrarianly stack the Rays, maybe some of those righties, right? You get the Yandy splits. You get Caminero. I would like that a lot in this spot, but they're not a full team stack. They have 3 or 4 bats you really want as far as DFS goes. The other guys kind of take it or leave it. So that's my thoughts on this game. It's really going to be contrarian angle on the Rays, but no priorities in this for whatsoever as far as big dollar teams.
Yeah, agreed. I think this is a complete fade game. The interesting thing would be like a 3-piece for Tampa, but the only guys that you can play from Tampa, in my opinion, are Aranda, Yandy Diaz, and Caminero. So those, I think that is a great 3-man stack because all those batters have been ripping the cover off the ball, and they're all underlying stuff is so good. And Eric Lauer's not very good. That said, the Dodgers have a good bullpen. Tampa's so scrappy. This game could just be scraping together 1 or 2 runs to win the game. And so I think that's kind of the outcome we get here. I don't think either pitcher is going to be valuable. You can't play Martinez against the Dodgers. And I think while he's been, competent, it's not a good spot. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for me. Nothing else to add here. I think this is a fade game. This is not a spot you need to get to. I think some of the later games are, outside of that, the Oakland game, I think, are not great spots offensively. So, nothing else to add, man.
Listen, I'll just add my contrarian stand to wrap it up. This is going to be the Cardinals, and I'm going to live and die by them. If they put up a 10th spot, I'm going to be sailing. It's a 100K Monday. I'm looking to ship it tonight. I feel good about it. I mean, we're gearing up for the U.S. Open. Had a great showing in golf again. Had a near miss. Day 3 has been killing me, man. I was in first in that 888 after 2 days, and that just doesn't matter. Nothing hurts your feelings more than winning 100K and just seeing that dwiddle over the weekend. It really breaks your heart a little bit, but that's the game we play, right? Ups and downs. You're gonna get those breaks. You gotta put yourself in position to get lucky, and that's what I'm trying to do tonight. So let's get after it. Anything else to add? We'll be back on tomorrow to talk the Tuesday slate, monster slate.
Monster
Be back
slate,
in the 888 street. So
Yeah.
anything else to add?
No, that's it, man. Good luck, folks. Hope you guys win some money. Hopefully I win money, and hopefully you get second.
Yeah. That's the game, right?
We'll appreciate you guys tuning in. If there's questions, comments, just feel free to shoot us a line. We're dumb monkeys, but we do our best.
Listen, listen. I mean, dumb monkeys can win 100K, and you did. You ate one, and I ship a couple Slinger and cheese every month. I mean, I try to look at it that like my goal is every 2 months get a good GPP. And I have allocation for that, right? And that's kind of the game: is you stay alive, you take your big shot, and you hit a couple of these, right? So that's what we'll do, and we'll keep on hammering away. But
don't gotta win them all; just gotta win one or two. So cool, man. I appreciate it. Let's get back to work.
Let's see if Spain can score because they are.
What's the score?
0-0.
Oh man, I was like, I'm super stacking this game.
0-0. No,
Yeah,
I mean they're gonna all the subs are gonna come in. They're gonna score. That's World Cup.
Yeah, see, I didn't play for that outcome. I played for that Spain comes out and scores a couple goals early. Fucking sucks. We'll see how things shake out. All right, man. We'll be back tomorrow talking some baseball.
Peace.